Alright, yeah, I'm ready for another video. What is this? Lost footage? Let's play it and see what's on it. Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanding Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, we're going to just cover 3 short stories today. 2 of them are the only stories I haven't spoken about that came from the Pizzazz magazine by Marvel. Pizzazz was a short-lived magazine from 1977 to 1979. Most of its stuff was republished in the Star Wars UK Weekly and in other just republications, and I've talked about them or will talk about them later on. But there were 2 that I haven't spoke about yet, and I just thought about going ahead and putting them in here. It's kind of iffy. You can kind of put them in anywhere in the timeline, but I'm just going to say here for right now. Both of them written by Archie Goodwin, of course, who wrote most of the classic Marvel Star Wars short stories. The first one's called Keeper's World. Luke and Leia are on a mission, and R2 this is shortly after A New Hope. He's been damaged, and he kind of shoots them off course. And of course, they find this world where there's a little AI dome called Keeper, and it's keeping these children, and it is kind of weird. I remember, and I say none of this got reprinted. I think this one got reprinted in Star Wars Zero, and of course in the omnibus by Wildspace. Folks, I can't say it enough, but that omnibus by that Wildspace omnibus by Dark Horse is probably the best thing Dark Horse ever put out, because all the hard to find comic strips and that you could never find were included in that. I just love that one so much. Second, no, it wouldn't be. It'd be the first place one. Second would be probably the Droids and Ewoks, which I enjoyed as well. But that Wildspace one is just so great. So it has both of these stories in there if you didn't know that. Now, the second one is called Kingdom of Ice. And this one, Luke and Leia, they crash onto a planet. Of course, they're being attacked by the Empire, and it's on Akura 2. They find Colonel Odom in the Occurrence, and they have a little adventure. Again, I don't think either one of these are Archie Goodwin's best. When I read them both in the omnibus, I was pumped, first off, because I like Archie Goodwin, and I was excited to see these 2 stories that had never been reprinted before and that were super hard to find. And then kind of found both of them lackluster at best. So not really the best. But those are 2 little short stories in there. Now, the third and final one that I want to talk about is called Constant Spirit, and it was written by Jennifer Heddle. Now, in this very short story, this was in the Star Wars Insider, issue 145. And this one, Leia tries to rescue Ralph Balon from the Empire. Now, at this point, Leia is not known to be a rebel agent. So she's trying to sneak an actual rebel agent away from the Empire. Now, does she make it? Well, it's a short story, so you have to find out for yourself. Now, this was written to be the like lead-in or advertisement for the Razor's Edge novel. And I don't know why Martha Wells couldn't write one. I guess she didn't have time, and Jennifer Heddle decided she would write something. It really doesn't have that much impact on the book at all, and it's okay. It's just a story. I'm really confused. A lot of times the author would be invited to write something for the Star Wars Insider, which they usually would, that was kind of a loose tie into the book. Like, you didn't have to read it, but if you did, you'd know a little bit more. Some of the short stories were better than others. This one just did not seem to... it didn't go well for me. Anyway, I mean, hey, it's okay, but you don't have to read it to understand anything in Razor's Edge. All right, folks, that's all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.